This is Julia and welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I'm going to be doing basically a book recommendations again, and I have done this topic 3 times now. This is going to be my 4th time doing it. Basically it's going to be my mental illness book recommendations, so books that deal with mental illness and some just hard issues like that, and just to, you know, raise awareness to these issues and just kind of let you know what's out there. They're so important for people to relate to, for people who suffer from these illnesses to read and just relate to and just know it's all right. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I love reading books about mental illness. I read a lot of them, as you can tell from my 3 other recommendations videos, but let's get into it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let me know what other book recommendations videos you guys want to see in the future. First up here I have It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini, and this book is about a guy named Craig who, you know, he wants to kill himself and he gets admitted there. And this book has trigger warnings for suicide, depression, and self-harm, so be aware of that before picking this up. But this one was just one of those reads that was really quick and it was really important. It's different from the movie. The movie's more romance related, so if you've seen the movie, you can still read the book. It's actually a really good book. And I just thought it was really interesting the way it was told, and I just enjoyed reading it, sort of. It's not really an enjoyable read, but it's like, I was reading it during a tough time, so it really like helped me out personally, and I just really enjoyed this book, and I would suggest other people read it as well. I think Craig is very relatable and I find his story really interesting. Next up I have here is This Song Will Save Your Life by Leila Sales. This book is about a girl who is basically the outcast in school. She doesn't have many friends, you know, and basically she gets introduced to a passion of hers. She meets some friends, she meets a dude, not just a dude, but she meets some friends and she learns some things, and she discovers a passion, and it's just so wonderful seeing of her coming of age story. And she does struggle with some things such as like low self-esteem and anxiety, and I believe there's a self-harm element in this book if I remember correctly, so be aware of that. But I definitely suggest you guys read this one. It's actually a really good read. I was surprised how much I liked it when I did read it, and it was just like a really nice contemporary. It's not super dark, but it has like that underlying message to it, which I really enjoyed. Next, I'm going to be talking about are ones that I'm not like I highly recommend you read this, but it does involve mental illness in them, and that I do like the way they were support. I don't know what to say about it. It's not that I don't recommend them, because then I wouldn't show them in this video, but I would suggest them. They're just not my highest recommendation. But first up here I have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and this book deals with abuse in a relationship, and I don't want to say too much about it, but basically these people meet and stuff happens. It's kind of really hard to say stuff without spoiling it, but this was just, I was so happy with Colleen who wrote this. It has affected so many people, this book, and I like so greatly appreciate it, because I was not expecting this at all. It went places that I didn't expect it to go, and I just thought it was like, there was some elements of this book that I didn't love. Like I think I gave it like 3.5 out of 5 stars, but I liked the overall message to it, and I think it's really important. And again, it has affected so many people since this book was released. It's gotten so much hype, and there's even like a thing right now where they're like sending this book across the globe, and people read it and annotate it, and then they send it to the next person. I find that so cool and interesting, and this book is just really a really important one. So another important one is Tricks by Ellen Hopkins, and I would only recommend this to a certain audience, because this book, like if you read any of the other books I showed and you thought those were dark, like this is like one of the darkest books I've ever read. Basically this book does have trigger warnings for sex trafficking, abuse, and prostitution, so be aware of that before picking this book up. Basically in this book we follow 5 teenagers from different sexualities and different genders, different sexualities, and they all get thrown into this industry, and it's about them and how they view relationships and all that sort of jazz. And it was just such an important book and such a tough book, and even if you read like the end pages, you know, like the things Ellen Hopkins writes at the end, it just says like the statistics and stuff in the author's note that not in this one, in the other one I think it does, but just how many kids deal with this, and I couldn't yeah, it's a really tough book, and I did somewhat like this one. It is a tough one. It's probably my lowest recommendation on this list, but if you are looking for a book that deals with prostitution, I would suggest reading this one and seeing what you think. Next up here, I have a new favorite, and that is Am I Normal Yet by Holly Bourne, which I talk a ton about. Basically, it's about a girl named Evie who suffers from obsessive compulsive disorder, and it's about her, and she has friends, and she's meeting boys, and she has a feminist group with her friends, and she goes through several relationships throughout this book, and it's just about her on her medication, seeing an ongoing therapist. It's probably one of my highly recommended ones, like, ever. Basically, she has these, it would say, like, bad thought, like her bad thoughts, and then a logical thought over here, and it would also have, like, the recovery diary / normality diary, and it would have like the doses she's on, her homework from her therapist, and stuff like that. And I just love this book so much, and I'd highly recommend this to like everyone. But not least, I have a manga, and that is Orange the Complete Collection Volume 1. And basically, again, it's hard to say stuff without spoiling it, but this book does deal with suicide, and it's about a group of friends who basically have to come together, and stuff goes on. I can't say much because spoilers, but this is amazing. I'd highly recommend this. It's only this volume, and then volume 2, they're like chunky, and it's just 2 of them, so you don't have to like contribute to like 15 volumes. I wish it was longer though, but it's wonderful. The art's beautiful, and everything about it is just adorable. I would highly recommend it. Like, these 2 are probably my highest recommendations because I love these 2 to death, so yeah. And there you guys have it. That is my mental health recommendations number 4. Let me know what you thought down below and some books that you'd recommend, because I sincerely love to know. I have some books on my TBR that are mental illness related that I'm so looking forward to getting to and seeing what I think. And thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and I'll see you all very soon with a new video. Bye!